Demons. Written by the Burried Truck and retold by Wingstrucker 3801. If you should travel to the island of Sodor, you'll hear booming whistles and wheels pounding the rails as the steam engines go about their work. But if you listen closely, however, you'll hear another noise. From a faraway part of the island, the drone of snorting machines and scrapping steel dances in the air. These are the sounds of the ironworks. Ari and Bert seldom ventured outside of the ironworks. Their yard is littered with scrap, which they spend their days shunting to the smelting shed. Lately, there seemed to be more to melt down than ever, but it was evident they needed help. One evening, Ari and Bert were resting when a familiar horn cut through the air. Diesel slunk into the yard, a tray of scrap in tow. Well, smirked Ari. If it isn't Mr. Revolution himself, huh? Come to take the weight off our buffers, eh? Well, if I must, grunted Diesel, though I should be taking work from those rotten steam engines on the main line, not tucked away here. I bet, teased Ari. Well, we'll ought to be bedazzled by your greatness. Just take your train to the shed and we'll get started. Mind yourself around here, muttered Bert. Strange things going on lately. Bert was trying to be helpful, but he had made the mistake of giving Diesel an inch. Later, Bert was moving trucks into the smelter shed. Fog had descended upon the yard, and he had to move very slowly. Suddenly there was a bump, and a line of trucks came rolling past him, with no engine. As they raced into the mist, Diesel appeared cackling with delight. Boom! Are you quite done? Snapped Bert. Diesel was taken back. You're meant to be helping us. Don't know why you haven't bothered to come. And I can do this by ourselves. Diesel fumed away without another word. Can't rely on tight old tricks. I need a new way to scare them, he thought. The echo of the smelter shed faded as Diesel ventured further into the siding. The night wind blew through the frames of the old cars and engines which sat languishing under years of rust. Filth, muttered Diesel, though perhaps they have some use now. But which to scare them with? Plenty to choose. Diesel had been so lost in thought he didn't notice what sat at the end of the line. A huge tender engine. Hey, watch where you're going, you... Diesel stopped short. The state of the engine's decay hit him all at once. Its side rods had been ripped off, and patches of corrosion littered and riddled his boiler. Though its smoke box door was missing, it seemed to be staring at him. Silly thing, chuckled Diesel, getting spooked by this wreck. Then, that's when it hit him. Spooked, yes. Oh, it's perfect. This'll get him. Slowly, Diesel pushed the hulking mass out of the siding. It creaked and rocked along the rails, as if it might collapse at a moment's notice. But Diesel didn't care. He was eager to spook the twins. Let's see them keep their nerves when this comes creeping up behind them. Though it was a good trick, and certainly would have given a great scare, if only it had worked. Diesel slowed down, but the engine didn't. Its old coupling snapped, and any brakes that it once had were long since disintegrated. Diesel watched in horror as it shot past Ari and Bert, disappearing in the smelter shed, and with a crash, all was silent. But not for long. The foreman came stomping and cursing out of the smelter shed. Yeah, what the devil do you think you're playing at, eh? He shouted at Diesel. I have half a mind to drag you in there and scrap you myself for that little stunt. Diesel went pale. Now you take the iron beast back to where you found it this instant, and you can stay there unless you plan on smartening up. Speechless, Diesel rolled into the shed. The engine was still. its front nestled against the buffers at the end of the line. The red glow of molten steel flashed across its old boiler. Diesel froze. Who's there? Yeah, very funny, you two. Truly terrifying. Diesel grunted. He looked back. Harry and Bert were nowhere to be seen. It was just him and the engine. With more care than he usually took, Diesel pulled the engine from the shed and set off towards the old siding. As he pushed it back to where it came from, the fog grew thicker and brought with it an eerie stillness. The yard lights began to flicker. Diesel glanced around. He thought he could see pale fireflies dancing in the night. Suddenly the lights cut out. The fireflies grew brighter, revealing dark shapes behind them. Diesel squinted. And that's when it hit him again. They weren't fireflies at all. They were eyes peering out from the twisted remains of the engine's past. Thump went the engine against the old buffers, and the lights came on again. Diesel jumped. A face appeared on the engine where there hadn't been one before. It grunted and grimaced. Its eyes narrowed in anger. "Oh!" shrieked Diesel, and he raced away as fast as he could, while the engine and its spectral friends vanished into the mist. "Hey, where have you been?" demanded Harry when Diesel returned. "Trying to leave all the work for us, eh?" I'm sorry, stammered Diesel. I'll get to work right away. Yes. For the rest of the night, Diesel didn't say a word. He worked without fuss and gave the twins a run for their money. Even the foreman was impressed. All the while, he kept looking back towards the siding just to make sure he wasn't being followed or haunted. When the work was done, he wanted to go home. Sorry, no chance of that tonight, old fella, said his driver. With fog like this, we'll never make it back. Reluctantly, Diesel backed down into the shed next to Bert. Strange things happening around here, murmured Bert. Oh yes, very strange things. The twins fell asleep, but Diesel stayed awake. It must have been all the fog, he thought. Yes, that's it. That's the last time I let those ironwork imbeciles fool me. I bet it was all they're doing. Yes, I'll let them wait. I'll get them one day. I'll get them one of these days. And with that, Diesel fell fast asleep, having assured himself the old engine and its ghostly companions were all in his mind. Or were they?